Hi everyone, I'm Karen and this is the Run List. On Tuesday, Texas Senator Wendy Davis spoke for 11 hours in her pink sneakers to fight against a restrictive abortion bill. What she did is called a filibuster. It's a tactic that dates back to the ancient Roman times where lawmakers try to stall or block certain legislation. Basically, by speaking over the deadline for voting on a bill, other senators won't be able to vote on it. But the rules for the filibuster make it a test for endurance. The senator has to stand for the entire duration of their speech. They can't sit, lean, eat, or go to the bathroom. Oh, and did I mention they have to be talking the entire time? Unless they're asked the question, the senator has to keep talking about that subject for as long as their will and strength allow. And believe it or not, there are a handful of lawmakers who can just ramble on and on. You're going to meet the top 5 in the history of the U.S. Senate. At number 5, U.S. Senator William Proxmire of Wisconsin. He spoke for 16 hours and 12 minutes in 1981 to stall debate on the increase of the public debt ceiling. He was concerned that the country was accumulating too much debt, so he wanted to make sure lawmakers didn't authorize a total debt of $1 trillion. Ironically, he kind of spoke all the way through the night, meaning taxpayers had to pay tens of thousands of dollars to keep the chambers open. Number 4, U.S. Senator Robert La Follette Sr. This senator, also from Wisconsin, talked for 18 hours and 23 minutes back in 1908. His filibuster stalled debate on the Aldrich-Cree-lend currency bill. This bill would have allowed the U.S. Treasury to lend currency to banks during fiscal crisis. Okay, so 18 hours and 23 minutes, that's pretty good, but not as good as our number 3 filibuster in the U.S. Senate. Senator Wayne Morse from Oregon. He was known as something of a tiger in the Senate and apparently thrived on controversy. Back in 1953, Senator Moore spoke for 22 hours and 26 minutes to stop the Tidelands oil legislation of 1953. The bill would give states the rights to coastal land instead of the federal government. Despite his attempt to bust the bill, it was in fact passed as what's formerly known as the 1953 Submerged Lands Act. At number 2, please say hi to U.S. Senator Alphonse D'Amato from New York. In 1986, the Brooklyn native spoke for 23 hours and 30 minutes against a military bill that would have cut funding for a jet trainer plane being built in a state. He's apparently known for doing these filibusters and reportedly even read the DC phone book during one of these. Riveting stuff, I'm sure. And finally, at number 1, the U.S. Senator who talked for the longest to stall a bill, Senator Strom Thurmond of South Carolina. Senator Thurmond beat Senator Morse's record in 1957 by talking for more than an entire day against the Civil Rights Act of 1957. He argued for 24 hours and 18 minutes against a law proposed by the Eisenhower administration that would make voting laws less discriminatory. He recited the Declaration of Independence and the Bill of Rights, among several other historical documents to help his case. Most of the other senators had better sense though, and they passed the bill on June 19, 1957. Still, gotta give the guy some credit for his effort. I mean, talking for an entire day and then some. Wow! So there you have it, the top 5 filibusters in the history of the US Senate. Politicians really can just go on and on and on, and tell us what you think about this rather peculiar process in the US democracy. I mean, holding the floor for hours on end so that other lawmakers can't debate over a vote on a bill? And FYI, the list I just gave is only the record for the US Senate, so the federal level. But this senator from Texas holds the overall top spot. Mr. Bill Meyer spoke for a whopping 43 hours against a workers' compensation bill. 43 hours, that's like almost 2 days, standing, talking, without food, without sleep, without a toilet break.